From A Brief History of Superluminality, FTL Achievements of GLQ Member Species by Archsage Merathon of the Gibane. All measures have been auto-translated. It is a well-known fact in the history of the Galactic Legal Quorum that there are many roads to ascendancy. Some, like the Zikathi, follow the slow, steady path of incremental improvement and innovation. These races spend centuries, even millennia, slowly developing and refining the science and techniques used to achieve spaceflight. Others, like the Zek Collective, evolve new subclasses of bodies capable of escaping gravity wells and moving vast distances between stars. Rarely, perhaps uniquely, there is a species that seems to leap from foraging to food to the next local star system in just a few centuries. Humans, unlike most other races of the GLQ, ran from achieving flight to landing on their moon in just 66 years. That is, for those keeping track, less than the span of a single human lifetime. It is just under the gestation period for a single Zek freightliner. Even the Perequi would only have gone through 3 generations. The factor that made this possible was looked for. Was it their intelligence? Was it a particularly favourable set of conditions? Was there some sort of outside help or influence? After decades of study, no one is sure. Humans, on average, skew just over average intelligence for GLQ member species. Sharp, but nothing extraordinary. Their homeworld is well known for being inhospitable to most GLQ members. The Zikathi ambassador who first visited Earth famously said, "They are surprisingly gentle and caring for a species that comes from such a terrible and punishing place." So then no favourable factors were in play. And scouring through many records, it was possible to find the provenance of every single leap in technology that led from beasts of burden to FTL drives. Humans were fascinated with record keeping. Everything was written down, annotated, indexed, and catalogued. So then, what? What was it that drove the people from digging in the dirt, as they say, to flying to the stars? No one has successfully answered that question, but I tend to hear a hypothesis. There are 2 things that lead to such a shatteringly fast development. 1, curiosity, and 2, indifference. You may be thinking, how does indifference matter? And that is only half the question. The other half is critical. Indifference to what? Humans are well documented for taking apart everything to see how it runs, learning every nuance of a subject, mastering all the errata, minutiae, lore, legend and detail of whatever subject interested them. Curiosity is blatantly a party of their makeup. Indifference, on the other hand, is something much harder to nail down, and had I not spent many years of my life working with and studying humans, I might not have picked up on it myself. If some aspect of an endeavour is not important to a human, it may as well not exist. Most species' first attempt to achieve a landing on a satellite body is fraught with a myriad of failsafes, backups, double and triple checks, simulations, test runs, calculations are redone, more tests run. Humans stuck a crew on a repurposed weapon of war and shot them into space. Oh, it was modified and tests were run, but the equipment, it would horrify most sentients to know. There is more computational power in my wristwatch than humans used to traverse the void. They built their first lunar module without computers. Men and women did the math with devices known as slide rules. I have never managed to determine how they work, but they appear to solve equations close enough to get the job done. The very idea of this would horrify most engineers, let alone test pilots. But here is where human indifference pops in. They were indifferent to the inaccuracies, the risks, the original purpose of the design, the discomfort, the tragic and horrifying failures of previous attempts. Humans can blithely ignore stumbling blocks that slow down or halt most other species of the GLQ. They took a crew of volunteers, set them atop a 36-story tall pile of explosives, untranslatable close allergy, crossed their fingers, and lit the fuse. There are two phrases that come to mind when I think of the remarkable progress of humans. They are both known to every human. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. The first words of the first human after stepping on Luna. And the second phrase, the longest journey starts with a single step.